Hello, this is Ben Television News Roundup, a compilation of major stories in the weekend. I'm Tunde Alabi. Thank you for being part of the program today. U.S. President Donald Trump has announced a new immigration legislation known as the RACE Act. The proposed immigration legislation will adopt a point-based system for low skills, requiring them to be able to speak English language and finance themselves. Speaking at the White House, where he announced the new act, President Trump said that the new Immigration Act will change how the U.S. issues green cards to nationals of other countries.
As a candidate, I campaigned on creating a merit-based immigration system that protects U.S. workers and taxpayers, and that is why we are here today, merit-based. The RAISE Act, R-A-I-S-E, the RAISE Act will reduce poverty, increase wages, and save taxpayers billions and billions of dollars. It will do this by changing the way the United States issues green cards to nationals from other countries. Green cards provide permanent residency, work authorization, and fast track to citizenship. For decades, the United States was operated and has operated a very low-skilled immigration system, issuing record numbers of green cards to low-wage immigrants. This policy has placed substantial pressure on American workers, taxpayers, and community resources. Among those hit the hardest in recent years have been immigrants and, very importantly, minority workers competing for jobs against brand-new arrivals. And it has not been fair to our people, to our citizens, to our workers. The RAISE Act ends chain migration and replaces our low-skilled system with a new points-based system for receiving a green card. This competitive application process will favor applicants who can speak English, financially support themselves and their families, and demonstrate skills that will contribute to our economy. The RAISE Act prevents new migrants and new immigrants from collecting welfare and protects U.S. workers from being displaced. And that's a very big thing. They're not going to come in and just immediately go and collect welfare. That doesn't happen under the RAISE Act. They can't do that. Crucially, the green card reforms in the RAISE Act will give American workers a pay raise by reducing unskilled immigration. This legislation will not only restore our competitive edge in the 21st century, but it will restore the sacred bonds of trust between America and its citizens. This legislation demonstrates our compassion for struggling American families who deserve an immigration system that puts their needs first and that puts America first. Finally, the reforms in the RAISE Act will help ensure that newcomers to our wonderful country will be assimilated, will succeed, and will achieve the American dream.
Also speaking at the event, Senator Tom Cotton, who helped put the new immigration proposal together, stated that the current immigration law in America is over half a century old, which has not worked for working Americans.
Our legal immigration system should accomplish two main goals. One, it should help American workers get a decent pay raise and have a higher standard of living. And two, it should help promote economic growth, make America more competitive in the world. Our current system simply doesn't do that. It's over a half century old. It is an obsolete disaster, and it's time for it to change. So first, we bring over 1 million immigrants into this country a year. That's like adding the population of Montana every single year, adding the population of Arkansas every 3 years. The vast majority of those immigrants come here not because of their English language abilities or their job skills or their job offer or their educational attainment. In fact, only one in 15 out of 1 million new immigrants come here because of their job skills and their ability to succeed in this economy. That means it puts great downward pressure on people who work with their hands and work on their feet. Now, for some people, they may think that that's a symbol of America's virtue and generosity. I think it's a symbol that we're not committed to working class Americans, and we need to change that. Second, We also lose out on the very best talent coming to our country, the most ultra high-skilled immigrants who can come here and bring their entrepreneurial spirit and their innovative capabilities and make a higher wage, create new jobs for other Americans and new immigrants, speak English, and contribute to our economy and stand on their own 2 feet and pay taxes and not receive welfare and not drive down wages for working-class Americans. The RAISE Act will change all of that by reorienting our green card system towards people who can speak English, who have high degrees of educational attainment, who have a job offer that pays more than a typical job in their local economy, who are going to create a new business, or who are outstanding in their field around the world. And I'm excited and I look forward to working with Senator Perdue and President Trump to pass this legislation through the Congress and make this kind of very fundamental, sweeping change for the first time in over 50 years to our immigration system. Thank you.
Meanwhile, President Donald Trump hopes to restore some order in the White House through General John Kelly's appointment as White House Chief of Staff following weeks of in-house fighting between White House officials.
We just swore in General Kelly.
After a chaotic few weeks, President Trump has turned to former General John Kelly to get his White House back on track.
We're going to work hard, and we're going to make America great again. It's all about making America great again. That's what we're going to do.
Kelly replaces Reince Priebus, who clashed with the president's communications chief, Anthony Scaramucci.
I love the president.
Scaramucci was fired Monday, Kelly's first day on the job, a signal that he's serious about ending months of White House infighting. Author Chris Whipple has written a book on the important role of the White House Chief of Staff.
You can't run the White House the way you run a family Manhattan real estate firm with a whole bunch of advisors coming and going and no chain of command and nobody empowered to carry out your agenda.
Whipple says Kelly's success will depend on the extent of his influence.
Every president learns, often the hard way, that you cannot govern effectively without empowering your White House Chief of Staff as first among equals in the White House to do a whole host of things, but most importantly, to execute your agenda and to tell you what you don't want to hear.
The president insisted in a tweet that there was no chaos at the White House. But during his first 6 months in office, Trump has been plagued by low poll ratings and the Russia investigation. Trump also faces a stalled congressional agenda in the wake of the failed health care effort in the Senate.
With the incredible men and women of Youngstown.
Trump continues to court his base, and many of his core supporters remain loyal.
We just need to support President Trump. He's doing the best he can.
Some analysts suggest Kelly may try to rein in the president, especially his habit of venting on Twitter. Trump's approval rating has ticked up during quiet periods, says analyst Kyle Kundig.
If he could ever sort of discover some tranquility, I suspect that the public might be a little bit more forgiving of him. But that certainly hasn't happened, or at least hasn't happened a whole lot during his presidency.
Kelly will join Trump in the spotlight in the days ahead as the 45th president looks to find his political footing after a difficult first 6 months in office.
Many countries in Europe are experiencing extreme weather conditions, including heat waves and flooding. The heat has caused outbreaks of wildfire in some European countries, while drought has led to shortages of water in many areas.
Visitors to Croatia's Adriatic beaches sit under the umbrellas and take frequent cooling dips in the sea. With temperatures reaching 40 degrees Celsius in the shade, many say they avoid the beach from late morning till late afternoon.
At midday, it's really hot. We stay away. We have to take care of ourselves.
In the afternoon, we sleep. We swim in the morning and in the evening, from 6 p.m. until 8:30 p.m.
With hot air spreading from northern Africa, emergency services have warned elderly people and patients with chronic heart diseases to avoid leaving their homes. Last month's fire in the coastal city of Split destroyed thousands of hectares of forest and agricultural land and at least 15 homes. Some coastal cities were hit by storms with unusually high waves. The situation is hardly better further north. In the Czech capital Prague, locals and tourists tried to stay cool on Tuesday in paddle boats on the Vltava River. The Czech Meteorological Institute warned the heat wave could continue till the end of the week. Geneva-based World Meteorological Organization says the extreme weather conditions this summer are exceptional.
We'll find few of such extreme events in the past 150 years, but in the recent 3 decades, 30 years, we have been recording more and more events like these ones.
The organization says the temperatures will continue to rise if nations fail to curb activities that contribute to global warming. It is calling for preparations to protect citizens from extreme weather conditions, such as early warning systems, shelters, and emergency rescue teams. The Vienna Zoo has taken measures to make the summer heat easier on its residents. Its new elephant bathing pool was completed just in time for the summer. The pool features a built-in walk circuit so the animals can walk without getting out of water.
Farming has remained a subsistence business in Africa, especially among rural African women. Recent practices of cooperative farming among rural African women is helping to create better farming practices and livelihood. This report shows how African women explore the opportunities in cooperative farming.
It is estimated that women farmers produce 80% of the food in sub-Saharan Africa. Agriculture is the bread and butter for a majority of women on the continent. To achieve this, many women farmers work in small cooperative groups. This is Bakinruwa Women Cooperative Society in Kano, north of Nigeria. For the last 14 years, this group of 25 women have been getting together and deliberating on what activities to take to better their lives and that of their families. Together, they have been contributing and leasing land for the purpose of farming. Like many women farmers, owning land is still a challenge. They pay 25,000 naira per year, an equivalent of $63. Talatu Idris is the head of this group.
From the dues we collected from the association members and from the yields of the last harvest, we leased this plot. We have leased this plot for the last 5 years, but we are hoping to get a good harvest this season so that we can buy the plot out.
Talatu and her group farm on this 4-acre piece of land. Miles away in the east of the continent, Esther Tenua is busy preparing to go to her farm. A year ago, this 53-year-old maize farmer was not able to feed her family. Life was tough. Her only solace was her women cooperative.
Hapa kuna vikundi vya aina mbalimbali. Yaani tuseme vikoba. Tunaita vikoba ambavyo tunaweka hisa kila wiki.
We have circles where we contribute shares every week. That's how I came to learn of people who help us in farming. We were told there are guests coming. They came, and those who are ready joined. Right now, 9 of us are using improved farming methods.
Kwa hiyo wale ambao walikuwa wako tayari ni kama mojawapo kama mimi nikawa niko tayari nikajiunga.
Today, Esther is a proud farmer. Every morning she walks with confidence to plant a better future for her children. Across the border in Kenya, Catherine Mackenzie is yet another farmer. Her main source of income is mango farming. For 3 years, she has been with her women cooperative.
Our main aim is to build each other as group members. We loan each other money to accomplish small projects that don't need a lot of capital. We take small loans and pay with interest so that the group benefits the most.
ndio kikundi kiwe kinapata manufaa zaidi.
Catherine has used help of the group to improve her life and finish personal projects at home. But apart from financial help, cooperative groups for these farmers has come as a resource. Josephine Kiza is the managing director of Brighton, an enterprise working with farmers in Tanzania.
We identify them at village level. We have the little groups at village level, have them aggregate themselves for markets, because buyers are looking at volumes and they're looking at quality. So if you do the two things, which is get the volumes together and then get the quality together, then at least you're able to engage a buyer in discussions.
Quality and better farming practices are also key lessons that farmers get.
We aggregate farmers in the community, whereby we put them into cooperative groups and train them on best agronomy practices, whereby they will learn new method of agronomy. They can maybe have a good system of farming and other things like that.
Talatu agrees working as a group is not only good for moral support, but in weathering storms that hits them once in a while.
After the last year's Tuta Absoluta experience, we received training on different approaches to tackle the issue. And now, because tomato has a big market, we are sure if we adopt the new technologies, we'll be able to protect the tomato and be able to sell.
This year, the Bakin Ruwa Women Group have raised enough money to finally buy this piece of land and add another piece to increase their yields. Esther in Tanzania is grateful too for the help her group gets. She believes it's made her better.
They held seminars and taught us. I've gained so much. Now, I have to use 2.5 feet space between the seeds that I plant.
futi mbili na nusu.
Although it may seem small on the surface, the unity and company these women find in each other goes a long way to help them emerge as better farmers.
Now, Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari's medical leave in London has remained an issue that has divided Nigerians of all levels, including those in the diaspora. Earlier, I hosted two Nigerians on Dialogue in Diaspora who expressed different opinions on the president's absence that recently made comic news on international media.
It's a comic. There's nothing to bother about stepping on the soil of your country or not. It's not the first time in the world that a president...
So it doesn't matter?
It doesn't really matter if our institutions are working. You know, no, it can be avoided. But for anybody out there to mock our country because our president is not there, I think it's one of the colonial masters' gimmick.
So in your view, the position of CNN was a colonial master's gimmick.
Look, you see,
but you as a Nigerian,
I'm a Nigerian.
You as a Nigerian,
yeah.
You think it is normal for the president of your country? Now you are in the UK today.
Yes.
You think as a Nigerian it is normal for the president of your country to be out of the country for 2 months, and you think it is not a joke?
Look, let me tell you, there's nothing wrong in being sick. If the man is sick and he needed, health care, he could get it. Dead body don't rule.
Okay.
The only problem that is there is the handling of his, the information about his health care level. In the civilized world, every minute people will know what is happening. The image makers and the custodian of the publicity of the president has not done well. And that's the only thing. Otherwise, in America, they have about 3-4 presidents that was sick and never even saw the light of the office for several years. It has happened in America.
And they left America for treatment somewhere else?
It does not really matter. Health care, the system is wrong. You see, the approach of CNN is what I don't like. I'm not pleased that my president is not in the country, But when jokes are getting too far, you know,
CNN is just representing the international community, because in an ideal environment, they believe it is inappropriate for the head of state of a nation to be out of the country, one, without the citizen having full knowledge of what is wrong with him, two, for the citizens not to see their head of state for 2 months. They feel in an ideal environment that is wrong.
I am telling you, in an ideal environment is very wrong.
So it means Nigeria is not an ideal country.
I am telling you, our democracy is far below the level of America's. Some of them have 100, 600 years of democracy, you know. So we are
Should
just.
that be an excuse?
But that is not. Excuse me. It's not an excuse. You see, the angle of CNN I don't like. You know, we want to mock our president because he's out of the country. It's okay. They too have a president that is in the country and is messing up their country. They have not that joke. They have not gotten a joke. They have a president that is not working. That every day.
You think he's not? You think he's not working? You may think he's not working, but his supporters are of the opinion that he's doing absolutely well.
You see, that's what I'm saying. You know, everything the white people do, we think is right. In a country where a president is creating storm every day, from one storm to the other, over 180 days of governance.
Not opposition, though.
But it's not a position. We all see it.
Nigeria has had the opportunity of developing herself within the last 57 years. What have we made of our independence? A nation that should be the center point for medical examination, medical application, medical advice, medical development, now running abroad. Even we hardly hear that even Robert Mugabe travel out of Zimbabwe to go and seek medical attention elsewhere. We never heard of even the Zambia president going out of Zambia, or the Gambia president going out of Gambia. We are talking about Nigeria, the giant of Africa. 57 years of independence, the most economically developed, economically advantaged nation in the entire Africa is disgraceful. As a politician, I understand Honorable Mishori's perspective. He has to actually defend the government because it's in there, which people who phoned in have actually articulated. And I'm happy that it's not me responding to that, because they may say, oh, Fatai has come again to criticize Buhari. But I face reality. I'm a realist. I wouldn't want a situation whereby my country is being put into jeopardy and there is no future for that. As I'm talking to you today, there is no future for Nigeria. What sort of desperation could have made a leader of a country to say that he wants to die in active service? Already is well recognized as a Nigerian leader. He was served as head of state, so already he is actually.
If the president resigns, who will be responsible for the cost of his treatment?
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
No, we need to look at a couple of things.
It's the government. We still do.
Excuse
the
me.
government will still be responsible for
as a past head of state.
As a former head of state.
Now you can see where we are coming from now. Now, whoever is thinking today that Buhari is in charge of Nigeria is a fool. Nigeria, since independence, since the end of the Civil War, has been under the clutches of the Keba. And this Keba are the one that determines who rules Nigeria. And I will say this affirmatively anywhere, because I know that is what is applicable in Nigeria as of today. And let me tell you, if anybody is thinking that Southwest Nigeria has ever ruled Nigeria, we are fools. The reason being that, look at the set of those who has been in charge of Nigeria. Look at Baba Obasanjo's, activities about checkmating the Southwest. No typical Southwest has ever ruled Nigeria. We are in the same position that the Southeast is as of today. We've never had a hardcore Southwesterner ruling Nigeria since independence. That's the reason why 1999 we are looking for a saving grace after so much of Southwest leaders have been assassinated, this and that. That's the reason why they went back to bring OBJ, because it's the only one they can trust. I mean, the Northern Keba, who are actually holding our destiny today in Nigeria. So you said earlier on that every government, the same situation we find ourselves under Yar'Adua is happening now. Same Keba that took Nigeria more than 6 months are the same people that are really. We are under the Keba auto drive in Nigeria.
With our report on Nigeria's president, we conclude the news roundup for this week. I'm Tunde Alabi. Thank you for being part of the program. Have a very good week. Bye. As part of our continued efforts to reach the African and other ethnic communities in the United Kingdom with greater impacts and create the platform to hear your silent and unheard views in this hugely growing community in the United Kingdom, our channel, Ben TV, presents to you another live current affairs television program. Our focus on the program is to review and discuss issues around the diaspora community in the UK. The program offers you that unrestricted voice on issues affecting you in the UK. Join us live every Monday at 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Another business segment of Dialogue in Diaspora, 2 to 3 p.m. every Monday. But guess what? You know you can be part of the program. Just send us an email at bentelevisionuk@gmail.com. Dialogue in Diaspora, your voice, your opinion on our TV.